grade, we had like crazy crushes. We would drive around, like stalk these guys. We decided one night to go to the arcade where they were, and I put bronzer all over myself in a Scary Spice fro, so I thought they would think I was like a black girl. And so I could stop.
And require an occasion.
Yeah. I had a matching pet monkey with coordinating outfits, and I was like, I would love to be part of the show, but I can't act with a monkey. And then I got a few of them. I'm just kidding.
She got a few of them.
Come on, it was a...
Media's calling you a crown straightener. I said, what's that? She said, a woman who goes around straightening other women's crowns. And I was just like, oh, this is like the best compliment I've ever been.
A movie that like about the female emotion, and it's just like hysterical women. And I was like, no, like women also want to listen to. Sorry that we're late. I'm late because I lost my mom. She's supposed to be in Boston and she's in Barcelona.
Is there anything more astonishing than a Hollywood star who appears to have it all: fame, wealth, a happy family, yet still seeks the next big headline? Over the years, Blake Lively has impressed us with red carpet glamour and gossip-worthy social media posts. But recent events suggest she might be reaching even further for the spotlight, using serious claims against her former co-star and director Justin Baldoni as a springboard for even more public attention. Harassment accusations are never trivial. They can spark important conversations around respect and accountability, yet rumors are swirling that Blake's allegations may be about her desire for clout rather than a genuine call for justice. It sounds shocking, doesn't it? But as contradictory evidence mounts, many are wondering whether her lawsuit is less about holding someone accountable and more about keeping her name in everyone's mouths. In this deep dive, we'll uncover the possibility that beneath Blake's glowing public image lies a hunger for control and recognition. We'll explore claims she manipulated facts, omitted key details, and managed public opinion to appear as a victim. Most concerning of all, we'll see how her moves could harm real victims who need society's trust and support. Is Blake Lively more focused on fueling her fame than fighting for what's right? Let's explore how this controversy began and what it reveals about her relentless quest to remain in the limelight long before these allegations grabbed headlines. Blake Lively had cultivated a carefully polished image, stylish, witty, and forever gracious in front of the camera. Fans adored her perfect social media snapshots with her husband and A-list pals, yet whispers within Hollywood circles suggested she was also highly iconic behind the scenes, always aware of how to present herself in the best possible light. The first spark of trouble reportedly erupted when Blake signed on to star in a project directed by Justin Baldoni. Early rumors hinted at creative tension. Blake supposedly wanted a more star-centric storyline, while Justin was laser-focused on a distinct narrative approach. Still, the pair kept things cordial in public. Blake gave interviews praising Justin's vision. Justin spoke admiringly of Blake's acting chops. It all seemed fine until Blake unleashed a lawsuit alleging unacceptable behavior on set. Given her typically positive reputation, audiences initially rallied to her side. After all, who would fabricate something so serious? But the timing of the lawsuit raised eyebrows, arriving just when the film's publicity campaign was hitting its stride. Some wondered if it might be a shrewd attempt to dominate press coverage and overshadow everyone else involved. Once Blake's lawsuit became big news, Justin Baldoni's legal team began releasing text messages and behind-the-scenes video clips. Far from showing a fearful or powerless Blake, these materials painted a portrait of two people who seemed friendly, even joking during private interactions. In multiple texts, Blake invited Justin to her personal space, setting a casual, even playful tone that contradicted her claims of feeling deeply uncomfortable. Soon, onlookers started suspecting that this might be more of a publicity ploy than a real expose of wrongdoing. Various media figures, including Megyn Kelly, raised a red flag. If the Asian turned out to be inflated, it wouldn't just tarnish Blake's image, it could undermine trust in people who come forward with legitimate grievances. For critics, the turning point was the sheer number of inconsistencies revealed. Every new video snippet contradicted Blake's lawsuit, showing her calm, even enthusiastic about close interaction with Justin. If this was supposed to be evidence of intimidation, it wasn't holding up under scrutiny. Viewers saw less of a woman battling harassment and more of a celebrity eager to seize a storyline that would keep her name sizzling in the tabloids. So the question grew louder: was Blake using high-stakes accusations as a stepping stone to even more fame, while Justin Baldoni scrambled to clear his name with actual receipts amid the frenzied back and forth? New Rumors circulated about Blake's alleged efforts to commandeer the film's final cut. Insider reports suggested she was unhappy with Justin's creative decisions and took it upon herself to craft an alternate version of the movie, something practically unheard of unless you wield massive power in Hollywood. Why try such a bold move? Observers theorize that if Blake could brand Justin as problematic or incompetent, it would be much easier for her to justify taking the reins, people might say. Of course, she needs to step in. She had to protect her vision from someone who mistreated her. It's a strategic narrative that taps into public sympathy. According to some insiders, Blake leaned on her powerful inner circle. Rumors pointed to her husband, Ryan Reynolds, possibly adding his own touches to scenes behind the director's back. Others hinted that Taylor Swift, a close friend, could jump in for a social media takedown if push came to shove. With these high-profile allies, Blake seemed set to dominate not just the film's production but the entire story told to the media. Had it not been for the piles of contrary evidence, Blake's plan might have played out perfectly, but with every leak of more revealing messages and footage, her narrative of helplessness came under fire. Instead of looking like the fearless heroine taking down an abusive colleague, she was starting to resemble a star determined to overshadow her director no matter the cost. As Justin Baldoni continued releasing evidence that poked holes in Blake's allegations, rumors emerged that Blake's lawyers were pushing for a gag order. This legal maneuver would bar Justin and his team from sharing more texts, recordings, or documents that contradicted her story. From the outside, it looked like a frantic attempt to put the brakes on a narrative spiraling out of her control. If Blake's original plan was to unleash her accusations into the media and let them damage Justin's reputation, then restricting his chance to respond would help maintain her advantage. Justin, however, was intent on speaking out. After all, why should he be silenced when his career and personal integrity were on the line? According to some outlets, he felt Blake had already tried the case in the press, and that revealing contradictory evidence was his only way to fight back. So, what was the real motive behind the gag order? Was it to protect sensitive details, or simply to keep the damaging truth under wraps? No one in Blake's camp openly admitted it was about holding on to her star power, but to critics it sure looked like a tactical move designed to preserve the carefully spun narrative that was quickly unraveling. False or exaggerated allegations can have devastating consequences that stretch far beyond one celebrity's spat. When public figures inflate or manufacture wrongdoing, they risk eroding trust for those who genuinely need help. It's tough enough for real survivors to come forward, seeing a high-profile star potentially weaponized serious accusations for attention can make people second-guess future claims, no matter how real or urgent they may be. Megyn Kelly's biggest concern was exactly that. If Blake's suit doesn't hold up, the next person with a legitimate complaint might face unnecessary skepticism. People might dismiss genuine distress as another attempt at fame-grabbing or sympathy mining, and that, some argue, is the most tragic fallout of this entire debacle. When tabloids fixate on a star's sensational lawsuit, smaller but crucial stories of real misconduct might never get their moment in the spotlight. The media cycle becomes cluttered with talk about leaked messages and hidden agendas, overshadowing survivors who lack the platform or glamour. Blake enjoys the cost of one attention. Hungry actors' attempt at hogging the headlines can be measured in every ignored or disbelieved voice that never gets the coverage it deserves. For a while, it seemed Blake was on track to be hailed as the brave actress standing up to injustice. But when Justin started publicly releasing receipts that told a different story, the tide shifted quickly. Fans who once saw her as a beacon of charm began questioning her motives. People pored over old interviews, noticing how she'd sometimes redirect conversations back to herself or subtly undermine the interviewer's questions. Social media lit up with debates. Some insisted Blake must have hidden motives for launching such accusations at such a convenient time. Others, who initially defended her, felt betrayed, believing they had been misled by an actress more interested in spotlight than truth. Suddenly, the chatter turned from justice for Blake to what's Blake really trying to do here. Meanwhile, Justin, initially painted as the villain, began gaining sympathy from those convinced he was ambushed by a high-profile star flexing her influence. Memes appeared comparing the lawsuit to a badly scripted ploy for attention. People started questioning the entire notion of celebrity activism when personal gain might be the real motive. Still, the bigger story loomed. If a celebrity is willing to distort facts to hog the headlines, then what happens to honest discussions around harassment and misconduct in the long run? It's a troubling thought for a public increasingly wary of sensationalized Hollywood dramas. Hollywood has never been short on scandals where famous faces spar over fame, fortune, or creative control, but the stakes feel especially high nowadays as the public has grown more sensitive to stories of mistreatment. When wrongdoing is weaponized for drama or career leverage, it can undermine years of progress in how we address real issues of toxicity. Enter Blake Lively, an A-lister whose polished facade and powerful network might allow her to skew narratives in her favor if her alleged claims are merely a tool for personal advancement. It underscores a troubling pattern in show business, using any scandal, no matter how serious, to climb higher on the celebrity ladder. It's one thing to push for camera-friendly lighting or to wrangle for top billing. It's another to cast damaging accusations if the real aim is controlling the spotlight. That's not to say all allegations from Hollywood stars are manipulative. Many are legitimate and help expose genuine problems, but the more people see these high-profile disputes dissolve into evidence of self-promotion or vendettas, the more likely they are to doubt everyone's story. In the end, it's real victims, often with limited resources and no star power, who pay the steepest price, overshadowed by a sensational scandal that may or may not be authentic. Whether Blake Lively's claims are completely fabricated or sprinkled with truth, one thing is increasingly obvious: her lawsuit might be doing more to boost her own visibility than to confront real misconduct. If the ultimate outcome is a pile of contradictions and questionable motives, the only clear loser could be the public's trust in genuine victims seeking justice. When a celebrity orchestrates a headline-grabbing saga, it doesn't just tarnish one person's career, it casts doubt on everyone who steps forward afterward. Could this be Blake's real legacy, eroding belief in legitimate cases, all for the sake of another news cycle in her favor? Only time and additional revelations will confirm whether we're witnessing a cunning plan to remain relevant or a misunderstood actress actually facing misconduct. Yet the lessons here go beyond Blake and Justin's immediate drama. They serve as a reminder that star power can be wielded in ways that either raise awareness or cynically exploit it. If fame truly drives someone to distort facts for personal glory, the ripple effects can last far longer than any short-term publicity boost. As the story continues to unfold, there's always more to discover. Thanks for tapping in now. Like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you're the first to know when more secrets come to life.